Okay, I have been given the okay that I'm live here. Alright. Well, I'm pretty tired, but when I get myself going in a run as technical and as scary as this run can be, it'll wake me up pretty good. Right, so I'm back again, fresh off the Ride Star race from a couple hours ago, and now we have this little gem called Chakan the Forever Man. Yeah, there is a lot of things to say about this game, and most who have tried to play this game they could not. They have all perished. Many have perished. Before I do get started, though, I am going to give a shout out to a couple key people that I want to thank for me even picking up this game at all. The first one is Spleed Delia. He gave me an actual copy of the game, and it's because of him that I even decided to actually have any interest in playing the game at all. And the other one I want to thank is Cypherin, who was the very first person to ever, as far as I understand, accomplish something resembling a run of hard mode. Yes, we are going to be doing this on hard mode. If you want to know what the major difference is, you take double the damage on hard mode, which is kind of scary. There's a lot of instant death pits, instant death hazards everywhere, and so adding on top of that enemies and bosses doing double the damage, it makes for a pretty scary run in a lot of places. And then of course the category is going to be all levels, so that's basically all the levels we're going to be doing. There's going to be no skips like there is in 80%. Alright, so let's get started here in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Chakan the Forever Man is a dual-wielding swordsman, and he is pretty much the strongest swordsman in the world. So strong, in fact, that eventually he challenged himself in a duel with death. And this duel with death, he would end up winning. However, the price he had to pay, well, his reward for beating death was immortality. However, this immortality kind of carried a number of side effects. And one of the side effects is that while he is immortal, he still feels pain. So if he actually ever takes, if he actually takes a death blow of any sort, he will feel that pain, but he will be denied death, like actual true death. So even though he's immortal, he's still. It's that kind of story where it's that kind of story where immortality is more a curse rather than it is a blessing. And the other thing about his immortality is that Chakan actually has nightmares of pretty much people who perish due to evils within the world that Chakan resides in. So say for instance, people who, say, are mutilated or castrated due to torture devices, or, people who are eaten alive due to a monster of some sort. Yes, those are the kind of nightmares. He has those visions, those type of nightmares. And the only way to free himself from both the pain of being denied death, despite being mortally wounded at any point, and these nightmares, is by destroying all the evil in the world. This is what Death told him. So this is the goal that Chakan is trying to strive for. He wants to be given actual permanent peace and rest forever. But he can't do that until he actually destroys the evil. So in the span of doing all that, there was a lot of things that was going on in that first portal. You might notice that there is a sort of, wow, why did I even walk off there? There is like a main sort of netherworld portal or a netherworld sort of main area, and this main area has 4 portals that we call that is called the terrestrial planes. And each of them are sort of elemental based. Like we're right now in the terrestrial airplane, and each portal contains 3 levels with a boss fight in the 3rd level. Now, of course, the other thing I also need to highlight is this trick right here. This is the infinite double jump exploit. Wow. Oof. And unfortunately, we messed it up at the very end. If you actually mess up any point part of this, you will fall out of the infinite double jump. Which, in that case of right there, that's about a 12-second time lapse. And that's actually kind of the thing about the infinite double jump. If you actually hold any one of the 2 buttons simultaneously, you'll do like a spin attack, like a spinning attack. So it's actually pretty easy to break out of this infinite double jump. So thankfully though, that was the first time I truly messed it up. So, and not actually mess it up on like on top of a depth pit, like say for instance the second stage I was in the terrestrial fire pit. But yes, here is the boss, and the bosses do like 2 skulls worth of damage, so already I'm one-shottable at this level of health. He's only done 2 hits to me, but as you can see, I utilize some spell casting here. I've imbued my swords, and then as well as casted some invincibility in order to not take damage. And that's kind of the thing with the magic system. You really have to utilize the magic system to full effect in order to even have a chance of beating this game at all. I'm not even gonna mince words on that. So because we already have the sight, we're actually gonna take a bit of a shortcut in this level, and this is very much preferred on hard mode, because the normal way of actually doing this level involves just damage boosting through a whole bunch of enemies, and then you still have to deal with that guy who does like 2 skulls. Not fun. So this next level here is probably one of the scariest in the early game. There is a mini boss waiting for us at the very end, and like bosses, he also does 2 skulls worth of damage. And this is a level where we kind of can't avoid most of the damage sources. Yeah, these geysers popping out, they do damage, and all these spiders walking around. And we're about to face the mini boss here. We're gonna try and do a task strat here. Oh. I'm gonna try chaining him down with the overhead slice. Nicely done. Like I said, he does like 2 skulls of damage, so he actually, if he even broke out of that, he would have lunged forward and killed me instantly. Just like that. We got through it, and now we're going to head towards the Spider Queen. This is the boss of the terrestrial Earth plane. Kind of just taking it nice and safe. Right, come on. There's actually a nice little thing with this fight. The Spider Queen, she only has a hitbox above her body. Like, her lower half actually does not have an active hitbox. So I can actually just roll with her, and I know I won't take damage for this. But you actually cannot let her get away from you. If you do let her get away from you, she will actually try to launch a projectile at you. But like I said, as long as you know that she doesn't really have a hitbox below her, that's pretty easy to do. Chakan has Chakan's roll is really the main way of actual movement in this game. Like, he moves, there is no run bar. The only thing you can do to move fast is his rolling maneuver. So it makes for some rather awkward optimizations to the movement in a speed run, but, and especially in a level like this where this water's trying to push you back, it can be pretty tricky. Also, the double jump is also pretty picky in its timing. Like, you actually don't have a very generous window to perform the double jump either. Also, this level is pretty brutal. A lot of these enemies are very hard to dodge. And you see how low my health actually got there. A lot of actual hazards to fight through. Alright, so this level here is a very technical level. I mentioned you already pretty much are now well familiar with the infinite double jump, but this level really shows. This is another level that really relies on you using this particular exploit piece of tech. Because otherwise, you need. Well, I mean, you could use the grappling hook, which is that weapon we got in the previous level. But that's slow. Like, we go fast on the speed run. We don't need to waste any time trying to grapple hook from one thing to another. You also could opt for the high jump spell, which is another pretty useful spell. But this also wastes resources, which we want to keep for pretty important other important parts of the run. All right, so man, Terrestrial Water 3. This is a terrible level. You see these doors? They send you back, most of them anyway. We're going to the one door that is not going to send us back. First, we have to activate that in order to open this up. Yes, you're expected to know that. I know, it's pretty silly. Gonna imbue my swords with earth. This is the elemental weakness of this boss. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got it. That is scary. This boss has a very wide hitbox. If I was even a little bit closer, I would have gotten hit by her, or by that, we'll call that a praying mantis. I don't know what the name of that boss was. Alright, so we've dealt with all the terrestrial planes. Now we're gonna move on to the elemental planes, and these are harder planes than the last set that we've dealt with. And we're gonna deal with the worst of the bunch. This is the elemental fire plane. All this lava is instant death. So if I fall down into this lava anywhere, it is going to kill Chakan. Some pretty scary jumps, and the other real scary thing is that there are these moving platforms. And if a moving platform is overlapping a stationary platform, there is a high chance you will fall directly through both the moving platform and the stationary one and into the lava. I'm not even kidding. Cypher can even back me up on that. That is something that can happen in the elemental fire plane. And this is especially a big sticking point in the next level coming up, which I will get into when we get there. But first, we have this level here. This level's not really too bad, but we are going to take the opportunity to fully stock up on red potions. Oh boy. Okay, good. My movement speed forward there was highly questionable, but we did not fall into the lava. Alright, so here's the big one. This level here, most people's inclination to jump from platform to platform is to double jump and increase their chances of actually getting safety. this is not the way you want to actually go from platform to platform, because what this will end up doing is it will, if you actually jump high enough, it will reset the platform cycles. And usually that will mean that the moving platform will spawn right on top of the stationary one you're trying to jump to. And as I said before, there is a high chance, if they overlap each other, that Chakan will just go right through both of them and fall into the lava. Oh, I'm okay. I'm gonna actually wait. That was very, very late reaction there. I'll go with this one. Okay, good. Wow, that's a really scary jump. You have very, very narrow window to actually make that jump at all. And we're going to use up the invincibility here just to ensure we actually can finish the job. Here is the boss. Yeah, you have to actually fight through all of that and still be able to have enough health to deal with this boss. And the worst part is, this is one of those fights that you can't use any sword enchantments, because otherwise he will just run away. Like, the sword is ineffective against this guy. Like, he will not fight you with the sword. You have to use one of the other weapons, and we've dealt with them. So, with us dealing with elemental fire, we've actually fully restocked on our red potions. So we're actually going to go to elemental water next, because we don't really need to use any potions here, except for 2 reds. And since we're fully stocked on reds, we're going to take that opportunity to get fully to kind of clear a little bit of space for the red potions. Nice. Didn't actually fall down there. There is a chance of missing your double jump there and plunging to your death by the hands of the spikes. Now, this next level, it kind of foiled me in my casual playthrough for a little bit. It turns out you can use the overhead with the mallet and actually, or sorry, the massive hammer, and you can actually break some of those floors. Also, there's a nice little exploit where if you double jump high enough, you'll actually spawn enemies into the water. You saw that guy actually on this platform I'm actually standing on, and I actually forced him in the water just from doing something simple like that. Literally anyone can do that. So, I guess while we're waiting on this whole platform thing, I guess I'll take the time to explain the hourglass, because I'm sure some of you have been asking what the heck even that is all about. It's basically a time limit to clear the portal that you're currently in. There is a spell to reverse the sand, so that you don't run the risk of you don't actually end up running the risk of running out of time. It's actually a pretty ingenious spell, but in the speedrun we don't actually need it. But that's kind of the purpose of the hourglass. It's if you do run out of sand in the hourglass, you will be sent back to the beginning of the portal, which in this case would be Elemental Water 1. I'm actually gonna... I decided to take this nice and slow because I did not believe in that particular... I felt like I was gonna die if I tried to go for that, so... But yeah, this is the 3rd level of the Elemental Water plane, which means the boss is going to be right over here. I'm going to activate this spell here, and I'm going to get right over here and take a shower, because this is the... We need to reduce the lag. This is a pretty laggy fight, because he likes to throw rocks around as he's sliding along the ground. And this actually causes quite a bit of lag. And it's also a very, very long fight. This is just one cycle, and I have to do 3 of them, so it's a lot of fun. Oops, okay, a little too soon there. Quality laser attack right there. Didn't even have to move at all, just sails right over my hat. And that's the second cycle. So now we have one more cycle. Back to reducing lag. I guess, have I not touched upon yet? Okay, I guess I'll take this time to get a little bit further ahead. So after I'm done with this fight, I'm actually going to head to the elemental earth plane. There's a number of potions I'm going to be grabbing in this plane, so it's just kind of to stock up on some potions I actually will need to finish the job for the remainder of the run. Elemental Earth is actually a really easy plane, especially after the last two I had to do. This is also a pretty laggy one, and yeah, not as many actual death hazards as well. But there is a few other big time losses. I'm actually gonna pull out this. Wow, I'm surprised I did not grab onto that. And this is why no one likes the grappling hook. It's pretty finicky whether it wants to actually grab onto things or not. Okay, so I mentioned about big time losses in this particular plane. This is the level where we are introduced to said big time loss. There is a creature that will show up, and he doesn't actually do damage. He does try to grab you, though. I actually fell down, which is not good. But thankfully, the grappling hook did not fail us this time. We actually did grab on it. Yeah, that thing right there is trying to actually grab me and send me all the way back to the very leftmost part of this level, which is a huge time loss. Like, that's a very big time loss. It's the biggest time loss you can probably get in the elemental earth plane, aside from actually dying. But yeah, we're gonna possibly see that thing one more time. Oh my goodness, I actually got past him. That is pretty lucky. Okay. Yes. Alright, so here's the boss of the elemental earth. Actually got in nice and quick, and I'm going to hold this posture. This is the fastest way of actually killing him. As long as you hold this posture, he will take damage on the very first frame that he can, and this will prevent him from extending his claw out and actually killing me. So it looked scary looking at my health there, but it's actually, I knew I was fine. Alright, so, elemental air. This is the last portal in the run. This plane actually has the highest damage dealing hazard in the game, and that is these lasers right here. In easy mode, they do 2 spells worth of damage, so in hard mode, it's 4. And we only have, even at max health, we only have 6 spells worth of health. So you can imagine, that sounds pretty scary. But usually you have the ability to maneuver around them. You saw me actually utilize the one of those mounts. Like, I got on a flyer, and he took me to safety. He took me to the end of the level. And but this time we're not actually going to use one of those. We're actually going to pop another invincibility and just go right through all the hazards and infinite double jump our way to victory. Gonna spin attack to ward off those guys. And yeah, on to elemental air level 3. So the boss at the end of this is kind of a pain in the ass. We're gonna try to sort of manipulate him to actually come towards us, and then kind of do as much damage, or try to roll like towards him, and you know, take pot shots with pot shots on him with our enchanted swords. We should have enough potions to actually accomplish this. We're going to also pop an invincibility because, again, I don't want to actually die here since I am going to use a few potions. Cool. Even got rid of him. That's good. So, I'm going to actually use this. And then, yes, perfect. So, this guy is weak to a number of different elements. You can use cold, you can use fire, you can... Oh, actually, no, you can only use fire and cold. All the other two elements actually he is resilient against, or basically it's ineffective. Alright, so he's got one more hit, and there we go. And yeah, that is all the elemental planes. And with that, Chakan has vanquished all the evils. It is actually not time yet, because, well, some lore has to be dropped first before we actually face the final boss of the game. Because there's a bit of a plot twist here. As it turns out, yes, Chakan has accomplished his goal. So technically, yes, he can finally rest in peace. But that is only what Chakan thinks. He believes that by destroying all the evil within his world, he is going to be granted that eternal rest once and for all. As it turns out, death meant, what he meant by all the evil, he really meant all the evil in the universe. So, and as you can imagine, Chakan is not an astronaut. He can't travel to all these stars, all these places in the universe. As Death would say, he is stuck on this mote of dust, waiting a long, long time, waiting to reach these stars, a long, long time, waiting forever. So, basically, Death is a one giant troll, and Chakan is just forever going to be tormented. It is not good to be Chakan right now. And so, with that realization, we are gonna have a bout with, I guess this is Death. You're probably gonna look at this fight and go, what in the hell is this? Something probably straight out of H.R. Geiger or something like that. We're gonna just utilize two key sort of potions, and in order to actually get into the boss's hitbox, and just like that, we destroy the fight. Time is coming up on Fade to Black, and there you have it. That is Chakan Forever Man. Fun little fact. Okay, so before I actually sign off with that run, that was actually a very good run. The record is actually 24:46. So that was less than a minute behind that run, which is honestly surprising. It really is a lot harder of a game, I assure you. If you ever tried to play this game, it takes a lot of getting used to how the game feels. But yeah, I guess with that being said, if there is one thing I will say, this screen here, this hourglass, you can actually wait on this hourglass scene for 15 whole minutes. And eventually at the end, you will have a message pop up. The developers put a message in there. After waiting on the screen for 15 minutes, it will literally say, and I quote this, "Not the end." I know. Pretty trolly ending right there, if I do say so myself. But I will say this much. I find this game a lot of fun, even though it gets kind of a bad rep. Most people kind of write this game off as a little too difficult of a game, but I do think the infinite double jump exploit actually does make the run a lot more manageable and and a lot less scary. But it does require a certain amount of timing. But with that being said, that makes me done with all my runs for the day. I think my next one's tomorrow, which is Metal Storm, and that will be a race with Cove and Mad Mega. So, if you love that game, look up forward to that. So that'll do for me. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.